Hey there, it's Kathy with Be Creative with Kathy, and as promised, it's Friday, about 11 o'clock. I'm a couple minutes late, but that's okay. And I have a really cute Christmas card for you. So it looks like this. It's called a Slimline card, just because it's tall and slender. But I cased this from the mini catalog, so if you're wondering, this Penguin Place bundle is in the mini catalog on page 33. I hope that's where the card is. I didn't think about it. Yep, look right here. So I took that card and decided I wanted to make it. And so let me show you how I did that. Like I said, we're using the Penguin Place bundle there. I couldn't get the punch turned around. It looks like this. Let me show you though real quick, because in the Celebration catalog, there is some free designer series paper that coordinates with this bundle. And look how cute this is. It looks, it's got the polar bears and the penguins, looky there, and then the other side is the little green trees, and then we have the penguins, and look, these penguins on this page, you can even punch out, let me see if I have it the right way, with the punch. So is that not adorable? See how you can punch the designer series paper out using the punch? And the back side of this one, look how pretty that one is. I love the back side of this one. Look how cute the penguins and polar bears and boxes are there. And look at that. You could use that on anything. Okay, it gets even better though. Hang on, there's more. Look at how cute the little polar bears and penguins and fox on that pattern. And the striped background on that one. Love that one. And then last, nope, that's not even the last one. The little sleds with the purple background with the snowy. And then we have, oh, there we go. Look how cute. They're making a snowman. And the background on that is just like a polka dot or a sprinkled pattern. So it is great designer series paper. Like I said, you can't buy this. You can earn this with just a $50 purchase. You add this as a celebration item and you can get that for free. We're not using that today, but I guarantee, hopefully, I have so many things I want to show you Christmas card wise, but hopefully we'll get to using that designer series paper too. But so I wanted to start with showing you a little bit of how to use our Stampin' trimmer. So I have a piece, we're going to start with a piece of Coastal Cabana cardstock. This is going to be our card base and the first layer here. So I need this piece to be, excuse me, I got this cough that I can't get rid of, but 8.5 by 3.5. So we need to cut our cardstock at 8.5 by 7 and then score it at 3.5. So I'm going to take out my extension here. I'm going to make sure that my cardstock, this is the 11-inch side, is in here. And I'm going to slide it over to 3.5. Remember I said we have to score it at 3.5. So the lighter blade is my scoring blade. I'm going to just put that over my cardstock a couple times. It puts a little groove in there, I guess, that'll make the cardstock fold better. And I'm going to take that blade and put it up here at the top. Where is it? There it is. And then I'm going to slide my paper over to 7, and then I'm going to cut it. So now I have my card base that when we fold it, it will be 8.5 by 3.5. And the reason I like that size Slimline card is that's the size of envelopes that I have. Okay, so then for this piece, we need this to be our top layer. So I want this to be 3 1/4. And I'm going to just cut it that size. And then we need it to be 8 1/4. And all of this is just 1/4 of an inch smaller than what the card is going to be. So it'll be a nice layer on the top. It looks like that. These are scraps that I'll use for another project. Okay, I'm going to set those aside. Let's go ahead and bring in our basic white sheet. Now we need this to be layers on the card. So we want the first one to be 3 1/4. This is going to be the inside. We want it to just be a layer. So it's going to be a 1/4 inch smaller, or the same size that we cut the second Coastal Cabana piece. And I'll show you why and how it works in just a minute. So we want that to be 3 1/4 by 8 1/4. So we're going to just cut off a little bit here at the end. And now this is the inside of our card. Then we need, of that same Whisper White, a layer to go on top. So we want that to be 1/4 of an inch smaller than what we cut the second Coastal Cabana piece, which would make it 3 inches. So I'm going to slide it over here to the 3-inch mark. Using the dart blade again, I'm going to just cut that piece there, and then we need it by 8. So now it's going to be just 1/4 of an inch smaller than that Coastal Cabana piece we cut, and it'll be a nice layer on there. Okay, I hope that made sense and helped. And then I would use this piece for another project or for the fussy cutting that we're going to do later. However, just so you know and save time, I've already fussy cut a couple little pieces, so I'm going to just set this piece aside for another project. And we'll get back to the fussy cutting another time or later. Okay, let's bring these 2 pieces, let's fold on that score line. When there's a mountain and then you have the valley, I like the mountain on the inside and score it or fold it this way, and then to use my bone folder and get a nice crisp fold here, and it looks like that. And then this piece that we cut, look how it fits on there, fingers crossed, yep, as a nice layer. But however, if you look at the card, I have done some dry embossing on here to make it kind of look like it's snowing behind my little penguin. So let's do that really quick. I'm going to grab this. I have here my, these are the mini embossing folders. This is the checks and dots. As you can see, it has checks and dots. I'm going to use the dots. This is a standard embossing folder. So when you get your, I'm going to use my mini machine. When you get your mini machine, it comes with all these plates. There's a white platform that we're going to use. We don't need cutting plates because we're not cutting, but we do need an embossing plate. And you'll see that there's number 3 and number 4. Now the difference is that 3 is thick and 4 is thin. If we were using the 3D embossing folder, we would use number 4 or the thin one. But since we're not, we're going to use number 3, the thicker one. So I'm going to just lay my cardstock in here. Try to get it straight. I don't think it's that important that it's that straight. Look, it's a bunch of dots. And then lay that on my platform, and then put my number 3 plate above it. And then we'll bring in that little machine, and we're going to run that through. Which way does it go? Oh, and you know what? That's a good point. Number 3 is thicker. Oh, I don't need a cutting plate. No, what am I doing here? Sorry, I'm having a brain meltdown here. I want the thicker one. Why won't it go through? Oh, because it was the user error. I had it all right, just didn't stick it through there. Whew! Sometimes it's better to show you what not to do than what to do. Okay. Okay, so we're all good now. We can put all of that away. Now I have a nice embossed piece of cardstock. We made it, yay! I'm gonna go ahead and just use some liquid glue and attach this. Well, and let me show you too, you notice it didn't emboss down here. Now I could turn it over and run it through the machine again, but all I really wanted was some little emboss or little dots at the top. I don't even care about the bottom, so I'm gonna just leave the bottom as is. And I'm gonna take some liquid glue and attach this to the front of my Slimline card here. And I like to use the liquid with the embossing because we have nice imprints on our card that I don't want to smash, I guess you would say, with the tape runner. This way the glue don't have to apply a lot of pressure. And now looky there, we have a really cute card front. Okay, let's do some stamping now. I'm gonna bring in my foam mat because it is a photopolymer stamp set, and then I'm gonna bring in a piece of scratch paper just to cover my mat. And you know what, real quick, I'm gonna even cut this down to, let's say, I don't know, we'll do about 5.5 inches maybe here, and watch, it's gonna fit on my foam mat so much better. There we go. Okay, now we're ready to stamp. I'm gonna start here. This is the smaller of the 2 pieces of basic white that we cut, because this is the piece that's going to be on the front here. And part of that stamp set is this great big snowbank here. We're going to start with that and the Coastal Cabana ink. The same color as our card base. and I'm going to ink it up this way. And I'm going to be really careful because see how my block is so much bigger than my stamp? We're bound to get ink on the corners, and I'm going to make sure I wipe that off. Okay, now I'm going to start toward the top here, and I'm not even going to measure anything. I'm going to just about guess where I want it, and I'm going to put that down full strength. I think it looks good about there. There we go. And then I'm going to ink it up again. Check my corners because my block is so much bigger than my stamp. And then I'm going to stamp off twice. And I'm going to put another, and I'm going to kind of move it around so that my banks look a little bit different. Use a little bit different part of the stamp and stamp that very lightly. Again, let's do that 2 more times. Check my corners, stamp off twice, and then I'm going to move it this way, I think. Maybe I'll move it this way. I think I'm going to go this way, like that. Okay, and then one more time. There, so now I have some snowbanks on my white cardstock here, and then I'm going to take this little tree. Where's the little tree? I have all my stamps here. The little tree, and I'm going to add some little trees to that snowbank. I'm going to start with one up here, and this one I'm going to put pretty close to the corner so I have room for my penguin on the other side. And before I go on, I'm going to take a post-it note here because I want to do a little bit of masking, and I'm going to stamp that snowbank. I'm trying to think where I think I had it about here. No, I don't want to put that away. I want to use my scissors, and I'm going to fussy cut. Now I'm going to make sure when I fussy cut this that I go clean through that line so I have ink on both halves of my paper, and I'll show you why. Let me cut this in half. So now I want to make it look like my little tree is behind this snowbank. So I'm going to lay it, well no, let's stamp the first one. Come on, Kathy. I'm going to stamp this one so he's sitting on that snowbank. And then I want to make it look 3D, so I'm going to lay my cards, or my post-it note, sorry, on here, cover up the bottom. Now when I stamp my tree, it's going to look like that tree is just a little bit behind the snowbank, like that. And that gives it just some depth and some 3D kind of look. So I'm going to put one there, and then I think I'm going to even put the last one just a little bit staggered down here. I think that looks good. I'm going to put, I'm going to put my ink away for now. Then I'm going to bring in some Memento or just black ink, whatever your choice is, and that little penguin, not that penguin, the penguin that's on his tummy, and ink him up good. And then set him. Now this time, from this edge, I just have to leave a little bit of room for his nose, but I'm going to take that little penguin and put his tummy on that snowbank, leave room for his nose, and set him down right there. I wonder if my head was in the camera, but look how cute that is. Okay, let's go ahead and get that little nose out. Now there's 2 noses, I guess, in the stamp set. You got to make sure one is facing like down and the other one is facing out. So I'm going to make sure I get the one that is facing out. I'm going to use pumpkin pie ink. Now with a little tiny stamp set like this, you want to make sure your stamp is inked up nicely. You want to set it down. Don't squish it, but hold steady, and then you'll get those little details that are in those little tiny stamps. So let's do that again. I'm going to ink it up good. I'm not going to apply a lot of pressure. I'm going to make sure I can see the black through the beak so it touches his face, and just hold it there without a lot of pressure. And even now I applied too much pressure and you can't see the little details, but I'm okay with that. I think he looks really cute. So let's do some fussy cutting now. So now I'm going to take my paper snips and I'm going to leave a very small border and just cut along the lines that I've stamped here. And I'll try to go quickly, but I want to do a good job, so it might take me just a minute if you could bear with me. I think this kind of card, because of the fussy cutting, you might not want to make 100 of them, but you might make a couple. I have a few nieces and nephews that I give money for Christmas, and I think this would be a cute card for them because I can slip the money into the Slimline card and it'll lay flat and look nice. Plus it's a really, I went a little wide here. Hang on, I can't talk and cut at the same time. But I think it's a really cute little card. That's why you never get rid of your Stampin' Up! Catalogs, because they make such great idea books. You can get tons of stamp ideas out of those catalogs. Okay, just go around his tail here. And I'm getting a little wider than I wanted to, but at least I'm going to just stay consistent. I'm going to keep it as it is. And this part of the tree might get a little tricky, but I found, first of all, you got to cut away the excess. And then if we just go around this way, it won't be too bad. Almost there. Now I'll tell you a little secret. If you have a scan and cut, it would be really easy to stamp a bunch of these little trees, and you could just scan and cut them and the penguin, and it would do the work for you if you're not into fussy cutting. Or if you wanted to make a bunch of them, you could do a bunch of them that way. But look, so now this is what the top of our card looks like. Isn't that cute? And then when we put it on here, it has that background that's really cute. Okay, let's go ahead and stamp our words down here. Let me get rid of some of my mess so it's not quite so bad. Okay, I'm going to use some Poppy Parade ink. I really like the Poppy Parade with the Coastal Cabana. So I'm going to ink that up, and these are the words that say be cool, be chill, be merry. And I'm going to just stamp them down here as straight as I can. Hold that in, don't squish it, and looky, there we go. So now I have already cut a little hat and a little scarf. This is the Poppy Parade. This is some gorgeous grape. I didn't want you to have to sit through that too, but I'm going to take, let me set my scarf aside for now. I'm going to take my little hat here and a dimensional, and that's how I'm going to hold my hat onto my penguin head. I'm going to have my dimensional kind of hang off a little bit so it looks like that. And then I can just take my little hat here and set it right on top of that dimensional. And now my little penguin is wearing his hat. Now let's go ahead and cover the rest of this with dimensionals. Where'd they go? Here they are. And I'm going to use quite a few. Well, maybe not as well. Nope, I'm going to keep going. I want to make sure it's a lot of room to cover, and I want to make sure it's nice and sturdy. And then I am going to take some of those mini dimensionals. Ooh, I hope I have some here. No, where are my mini dimensionals? Oh, too many. Here we go. And put one on my little Christmas tree, or the little tree up here, so he's not wobbly either. He's nice and attached and steady to the card. say, did I get them all off? You can tell because they look different. They look shiny without the covers. Okay, and I'm going to take it down here and make sure it's straight down here because the top's not going to be or have that same border. And just lay that down, make sure my penguin is attached tight and my little tree is good with that dimensional underneath, and there we go. So let's do a little bit more stamping. I'm going to bring in, this would be the inside of our card. I want to stamp a little greeting here at the top. I'm going to use that Poppy Parade again and the little, I think it says Season's Greetings. Yep, Season's Greetings. Where's my mat? Put this in there. Stamp it about there. Look how cute that is. Bring in some black ink. And now this is the penguin that matches with the punch. I'm going to take him, ink him up nice and good because he's a solid image. And you can see through the stamp as to whether you have enough ink on there or not. And just set that down here in the corner. Let that ink sink in. And then with some pumpkin pie, take some of this and just stamp his little feet here at the bottom. And then I think I'm going to give him a purple hat. So let me find that gorgeous grape ink that I used on the scarf that I'm going to use in just a second to finish the front. But we'll stamp him with a little purple hat. Then he needs an orange beak. Shoot, and I should have done this while I had the orange out. And he needs the beak that, in my eyes, I would say points down. So again, it's a little image. I'm going to stamp or ink him up and lightly on my paper. And look how cute. The one more thing I want to do is add a little bit of character. So on the top here, by my greeting, I'm going to take that Coastal Cabana ink and some of those snowflakes, and I'm going to just lightly stamp a few little snowflakes around my greeting here. And look how cute that is. Okay, so that's the inside. Let's go ahead and put that on the inside of our card. I'm going to just use some Stampin' Seal adhesive here on the back. Lay that inside here. And now we're almost done. All we need to do is add a little penguin here. So remember that scrap I told you I thought we didn't need? I'm going to bring that back in. Excuse me. I'm going to cut it down just a little bit. We don't need anything that big. So I'm going to cut it at about 2 inches here. Give me some room to work. Okay. And then again, I'm going to stamp that little penguin with some Memento Black. And now this is a good time to bring in your punch, because if you see, to put it, insert it into the punch, we want to put him head down. So that way when he goes into the punch this way, his head is going to be, make sure I check that at the top. Here, like so. And I forgot my mat. Darn it. Oh, look there, we can fix it. Haha. Like that. Bring in that pumpkin pie again. Nice. Stamp that little beak. Make sure I get the right one. I've got quite the mess here on my desk. Let me just set that down right there. Look how cute. And then he needs his little feet. I'm worried here that I've stamped him the wrong way and he's not going to go into my punch, but that's okay. If that happens, I'll just do it again real quick. But no, look, I did. So now when you put it in your punch, it's going to be nice, just like that. Okay. Then I have that little scarf. I'm going to just put a little bit of liquid on the back of that scarf that I fussy cut. And again, I told you I stamped this with the gorgeous grape, the purple ink. Love that color. like that. A couple dimensionals on the back of him. And then I'm going to just set him down in the corner on that little snowbank so he looks like that. So there you go. I know it was a lot of stamping. We've used almost every stamp from that stamp set, and that's what I absolutely love, when stuff like that and you can use all of them. Oh, last thing though we need to do, we need to do two more things. Look, I almost forgot his little foot on here. So with that scratch paper, here we go. Let's just quickly stamp a little foot. Maybe we're not going to, maybe I'll just step, here it is, and that orange ink. And again, to look at the punch, my paper is going to go in this way, so I need to put his little toes, I guess you'd call it, up. I almost forgot his foot. That would have been awful, right? Put that, punch that down. I'm going to just put a little bit of liquid glue on the back here. And then tuck that under. There, now my little penguin has his feet. Okay, there we go. No, and then last we have to put some Wink Estella on those trees just to give it a little bit of bling. And now you probably can't see that in the video, but Wink Estella just adds a little touch of glimmer to where you need it. The nice paintbrush makes it easy to paint on there. And like I said, it just adds that final touch to the card and gives it some shimmer and some wow. So as I finish up, I just want to thank you for watching. If you ever find some of the you want some of the products that I've used in my video, you can visit my online store, which will be below in the description. All of the measurements will be on my blog. My blog is becreativewithkathy.com. If you want to receive my newsletter regarding my classes and promotions and such, be sure and subscribe to my blog. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you back here on Monday. Bye-bye.